small amount of that quality, not fully, not fully, just like I mentioned, one of the defects with our material rasas, like Vatsalya Ras, which we've been reading about, parental, is of course the parents, as mentioned here, Vatsalya Ras, then the main point in that is you give protection to your children, right? That's the Vatsalya Bhav. You give protection to the children, and from the children's point of view, they're receiving that protection. I think where was it mentioned the verse? Yeah, in the previous one, which to the last one, 228, is called Palaka and Palya, 228. So Palaka means you're giving protection, you're the caretaker, and Palya means you're the object of protection. So that's the rasa. So, but I mentioned, like, sometimes, the parents obviously trying to protect the kids, but sometimes they can't. Like we mentioned on the plane, right? All the parents and the kids died. Both the kids were killed and the parents were killed. So not only the parents couldn't protect the children, but they couldn't protect themselves. So definitely we can't, possess that quality 100%. But to some degree, we can give protection to those that come under our shelter. If some souls coming under our shelter, we may be able to give some protection. And that protection that we can apparently give is also depending on the Lord. Because as the Lord is the one that's giving you the strength to protect someone, or giving you the intelligence to figure out what to do to protect them, or like that. So he's giving you the buddhi, the bala, all these kind of things that you need to protect. But yeah, as part and parcel of the Lord, we do have some of that, ability to and desire to protect, and that's the whole thing with a kshatriya. Kshatriya means chat means hurt, and triya means to deliver, to protect, like that. So that's the whole mood of a kshatriya, is to protect those that are being hurt by others. So in order to protect someone, you have to hurt the other one, like that. So some dacoit, some gunda is coming and attacking the person, and you go to protect them. So that's the kshatriya kind of mood, like that. So definitely we have some of that quality in us. Definitely we have some, but not to the point of Krishna. Krishna is 100%, that he can protect. There's nothing can. There's a saying, right, that Mare Krishna Rakeke, what is it? Rake Krishna Mareke. That if Krishna wants to kill you, no one can protect you. And if Krishna wants to protect you, no one can kill you. So yeah, he's the one that we should take shelter of with complete confidence that he's going to look after us. Because we might take shelter of the police, the government, family, whatever, friends, but there's not really any guarantee that they're going to be able to protect us. Maybe, and that's also depending on Krishna's mercy and like that. But better to directly take shelter of Krishna. But yeah, it's adding to the opportunities of meditating on Krishna, knowing those qualities. Because we can meditate on his holy name, meditate on his form, like that, meditate on the pastimes. But it's been a wonderful addition for me, being able to meditate on his guna qualities as well. So it's really nice.
That's a great idea.
Abhay Prabhu used to practice his shlokas. I said Abhay Prabhu would practice on me. So as a result, yeah.
She's also learning.
Yeah, not all of them. I learned the last 4.
So she started with the last 4, the qualities that only Krishna possesses and no one else. So she started at the end. But she was enjoying that because they're very wonderful qualities, the final ones that only Krishna possesses. And that separates Krishna from everyone else, these four qualities specifically. So the first one mentioned his wonderful pastimes that are like the waves of an ocean. Wonderful pastimes that are like waves of an ocean. They just keep on coming as pastimes, amazing pastimes. And the second one mentioned is that he's always surrounded by devotees that he loves and also that have complete love for him. And you'll never find Krishna alone. He's always surrounded by loving devotees. And they're very dear to him, Priya, and also they have that Madhura Prema. They have that pure love. So, complete love between Krishna and his devotees. And he's always surrounded by those devotees, having wonderful pastimes. And then he attracts everyone in all the three worlds with his flute playing. His melodious vibration of his flute is attracting the minds of everyone in the Tri Jagan and throughout the universe. Even the non-human living entities, so even the animals and the plants, and you see that when Krishna was on the earth in Vrindavan, even the trees became completely ecstatic hearing the sound of Krishna's flute. The birds in the air became stunned in the air. The animals, the calf is drinking from the cow's udder. The throat of the calf would get choked up and couldn't drink the milk. When the sound of Krishna's flute, the vibration went in the ear of the calf. Even the Yamuna would stop flowing or even go backwards. So that's the power of Krishna's flute playing, is extraordinary. And the last one mentioned is there is no one is equal to him or greater than him in his beauty and his opulence. And that beauty and opulence is astonishing to all the moving and non-moving living entities. Like that. So it's really a really nice meditation, all these things.
Yeah, it's a good variety. I mean, going into different aspect, probably that's not part of process from ISKCON, but you have discovered it. I mean, in terms of looking at different ways to remember God, I guess that's pretty good. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, the scriptures mention that we should
meditate on his qualities.
Meditate and hear and chant about his names and qualities and pastimes and form. But I never really thought to, well, let's get into the qualities. What are the qualities? And that's given to us what his main qualities. He's got unlimited qualities. So 64 main ones are mentioned in the Caitanya Charitamrita.
And there are 26 for Radharani, right? 25.
26. So then Radharani has 26 transcendental qualities mentioned, which are unique to her. And which I haven't actually, that's very good, because next I should move on to that, learning Radharani's 26. And a pure devotee has 26 qualities. That I've already memorized, the 26 qualities. That's also on the Caitanya Charitamrita also. Kripalu akrita droha satya sarasama nidosa vananya murdu suchi kinchan savopakara shanta krishnai kasharna kama nihastira vajita sadguna metaboka pramada manada mani gambira karuna maitra kavi daksha moni, like that. So those are the 26 mention of a pure devotee. Starting with Kripalu. Kripalu means very full of mercy. Full of mercy. And Akrita Droha is an interesting one. This means not envious of anyone, never envious of anyone like that. Satyasara, always very truthful, always truthful. Sama means equal to everyone, and dealing with all the things that happen to us in life with equality, equanimity, not going very happy and very sad and, just very equipoise like that. So nice meditation. And, without knowing these qualities, how are we going to develop them? I mean, it is said that if you surrender to Krishna and take up devotional service, it's mentioned you'll automatically develop all the good qualities, will automatically develop. But on the other hand, or at the same time, it's good to be aware of them and try to cultivate them, knowing that it's very pleasing to Krishna. These qualities, if we possess these qualities, are very pleasing to Krishna. So we should try to develop these qualities. So we make some endeavor to develop the qualities, but at the same time, just by serving, by chanting Hare Krishna or cleaning the temple or washing the Krishna's pots or offering the bhoga to Krishna, automatically these qualities will develop. So there's two things going on side by side, that we're automatically developing the qualities of a devotee as we come closer and closer to Krishna through doing bhakti. And at the same time, if we're conscious of them, we're trying to do that, for the purpose of pleasing Krishna, that this will make Krishna happy if we, have.
And then you also come to know that, you don't have that qualities.
Yeah, we realize, well, I got a long way to go. Yeah, I'm not very kind, and I'm a bit envious, and I'm a bit up and down, and so forth like that. So, yeah, we sort of know where we're at. We can sort of test our progress.
There are key indicators basically. You can just kind of check yourself, benchmark yourself basically, saying what we need to work on,
Which is good. I mean, even materially, right? They do that in business.
Yes.
You have a benchmark like that in any business enterprise. And that's good to do, to see, how things are going. Are you doing better than last year, or you do worse than last year, or whatever like that? So the same in spiritual life. The only difference is we're doing the same things for Krishna's pleasure, not that we're doing the same things for our pleasure. It's just who we're doing it for. But actually, a lot of the principles in material life, spiritual life are pretty much the same. The only difference is the central point is different. Krishna is in the center.
I was thinking that, most of the devotees ask how to measure your progress. I mean, how you have progressed. I think that's a particular good for self-evaluation. It's quite good.
Yeah.
You honestly mark yourself, whether I'm really envious or not, whether I judge people or something like that. But you see yourself. I mean, it's kind of so it's more like, you can evaluate yourself basically, whether you're progressing, you're cultivating the qualities Krishna is asking you.
Definitely.
Obviously, you are doing bhakti. As you said, some of the qualities come when you're chanting or doing, following the process. Something automatically comes in.
Yeah.
So,
So both. Yeah.
Yes, something I think probably nobody has mentioned in anywhere. I think qualities and these kind of things. So it's good, I think, to think about those things. I think it brings variety as well. I think in terms of what you're reading and thinking and reflecting.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, some devotees are not very philosophically inclined, so it might not be something for that kind of devotee, but they just want to chant Hare Krishna and take prasad. And that's fine, no worries. But for those that are a bit intellectual, they like to, use their head a bit, then it's something exciting and, interesting like that.
And then it's not sentimental. This is a practical process, to see how you're going. Like, for instance, one of the qualities is giving respect to all, right? So in that case, then you, like he's saying, Prabhu's saying about when you measure yourself, you can actually measure yourself using that one. Do you really give respect to all, You don't like somebody.
Well, that's actually a very interesting point, because one of the 64 qualities of Krishna, which we can possess to some degree, is Manya Mana Krit. So Manya Mana Krit, it's very interesting. And it made me think a lot, because what it doesn't just mean respecting everyone. What that quality is that Krishna is respectful mana to the respectable, which is manya. So he is respectful. He is giving respect, or full of respect to those persons, not everyone, to those persons that are respectable. Respectable means, worthy of respect, right? Worthy of receiving respect. I mean, like, would you give respect to someone that's very critical or envious or whatever like that? It doesn't mean, he is not saying either that, you would hate that person that's not respectable, but you don't have to give them respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that I thought about that a lot, and it made a lot of sense, because respecting persons that are not respectable is not necessarily a good thing. If someone's behaving very badly and you're giving respect to them, that might make them even more worse. They're thinking it's okay because you're saying, well, you're such a good person, you're wonderful, whatever, but actually they're really terrible. And then you're respecting them, and that makes them think it's okay. So it'd be better in that case not to give respect to someone that's not worthy of respect, someone that's not behaving properly.
So that means you don't even say Hare Krishna to them.
You might just ignore them. And it's interesting, that brings me to the quality of a Madhya-lila, which is the devotee that on the level in the middle class devotee that preaches. There's Kanistadikari, Madhya-lila, Uttamadikari. So Kanistadikari means a neophyte devotee is, still got materialistic tendencies, and he just worships the deity and doesn't really understand where everyone's at. And then Madhya-lila, when you progress more in the knowledge and faith and everything, then you understand people are in different positions. There's Krishna and you worship Krishna. There's the devotee and you serve the devotee, respect the devotee. And then there's innocent people that don't know about Krishna. You try to help them. You be merciful to them. And then there's the envious persons. And what does it mention? The Madhya-lila, how should deal with the envious persons? Ignore them. It's not saying hate them, but it's saying ignore them. So you don't approach them, don't go near them, don't try to preach to them. You just stay away from them. And actually, it said if you preach to the envious person, they become more envious. If you try to glorify Krishna or whatever to the envious people, they will blaspheme Krishna, which is bad for them.
Devotees.
It'll be bad for them. So I was thinking a lot about that, Mana Manya Krit, that Krishna is respectful to the respectable. I thought, wow, it's not saying he's just respectful to all, but no, respect depending on the person's qualifications, their eligibility. Are they worthy of respect and so forth like that? And we do that too. And I don't necessarily think that's wrong, that we give maybe more respect to one person and less respect to someone else.
But there are envious devotees too. So what I'm saying is, when you come across those kind of devotees and they're just right in front of you, you don't even say Hare Krishna to them. Is that what it means?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you don't need to associate with them, of course.
Of course.
You don't associate with them, but then
Yeah.
if they're coming, and you don't need to bow down to them.
Yeah.
But if they're just there, you just say Hare Krishna and move on.
Yeah. But Krishna also has that quality of not being envious. So even if someone's not respectable, he's not going to hate them or be envious of them, because he knows that there's a pure soul there, that underneath that person who's lying and cheating and doing all kind of nonsense things, with inside that conditioned nature, there's a pure soul there. So, so it's not that you would hate or be envious of anyone, but you give respect to those that are worthy of respect, and like that. Does that make sense? Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think there's one verse from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about Maniniya, Maniniya, something, something, and
Yeah,
that
yeah. Manadaina. Yeah, manina.
you don't
Don't expect
respect
respect, but give
and
respect.
respect everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of thing. Now, what I think about is the situation like this is that somebody is envious or something. It's because of his ignorance. Maybe these are the qualities which
sure.
you have to rise above. So the
Yeah.
first thing comes is mercy, in the sense that okay, this person doesn't know what he's doing, but you understand that he's doing. But still, I mean, I think that the approach is not to react, as you said, ignore him, or not ignore him, but not react.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if someone's envious of Krishna and you're ignoring them, that is respecting them. Because if you go and preach to them, the more envy is going to come out and they're going to blaspheme, criticize Krishna, and do harm to themselves. So that is respecting them by not saying anything about Krishna to them. You might talk to them about the weather, and something that's not going to, get them excited, agitate them. But you don't want to say anything that's going to agitate them and make them even more go downhill. So like that. So yeah, I think both of those things can be, reconciled together. That, so you giving respect, so you might give some encouraging words to someone, but you just give those encouraging words to those that actually deserve them, right? You don't want to falsely say, or you're such a truthful person, say that to someone that's always lying. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to give false respect like
Yeah.
that, just if they have some particular good quality, and you can praise that and respecting that, give them respect for that, but not just respecting everyone, even if they're not qualified at all, you just falsely telling so many glories, praises like that. And that I could understand, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So as the person is qualified, then you respect those particular qualities.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think what I think is that probably we should be more merciful, and then I'm agreeing with it. You look at the person whether he's basically you think that he can take it or not. I mean, most of the time, if he is, if you have some kind of a pride or something, they won't take it. As you said, it might go in a negative way for him. He might react differently. Probably we shouldn't be reacting to them at all. Just keep continuing what you said. Ignore, or ignoring as well is kind of helping him. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Just
Hmm.
ignoring that when you're not respect. But in terms of ultimately, we are looking at the behavior, but ultimately in the background, because of ignorance, they are behaving in a certain way. We should have some kind of mercy in terms of looking at them. Okay, he's in the learning path where he is at he hasn't gone to that level as you have, but
Hmm.
we should look at mercy level. And I think, yeah, reaction is fine. You shouldn't be reacting to those people in that case, and just maybe see the opportunity. I think it's probably, I don't know, I mean, it depends on person to person how the other person takes it. If they are envious, or they are, in terms of, as you said, if they are, looks like they're not going to take the things positively, then it's better not to talk about it at all. As you said,
Hmm.
it's better
Hmm.
to, I think that's the best way. I think if you think
Hmm.
that, that that person is, no, that there's no need to react, just just
Well,
behave
to me,
normal.
it's like, you don't praise someone
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
for
you
for
yes,
some particular qualities they don't have, because
yeah,
that's not being truthful
yeah,
also. So
that's
not falsely, but if someone does, like, wow, you really did a great job of cleaning the kitchen. You know, they really did.
Yeah,
But not
that's
that they left it really dirty and you say, oh, you did a great job cleaning the kitchen. That's not going to be very beneficial.
so we
You
should
know,
know that.
so if someone has done something that makes them worthy of some respect, some praise, some credit, then you give it like that, but not just you give it to everyone blindly, that, you know, treat everyone the same like that. No, according to their, you know, particular qualities.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you have to do some kind of discrimination, but in terms of,
Yeah,
yeah,
discrimination is a
don't
good word. So
mistreat them.
Krishna, obviously,
Yeah, it's like
that
not
quality is
treating others.
revealing that Krishna is also discriminating, which is, and we also discriminate. Where's that coming from? We're part of Krishna. So, and that's intelligence, you know, that's intelligence that's required to be able to discriminate what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, like what's beneficial, what's not beneficial, you know, like that. So, and that's not necessarily, you know, a bad thing, you know, and but like I said, you know, a devotee or Krishna himself doesn't hate anyone, knowing that even if they're externally displaying bad qualities, like they're envious or lusty, greedy, angry, or whatever, but these are just temporary covering over the soul. But they actually, the pure soul, the soul within is pure and never contaminated by these things. So it's possible to simultaneously love them on that spiritual platform, but
I think,
not give any
mm,
appreciation or respect for materially what the behavior is, you know, being manifested like that. And Jesus also says in the Bible, hate the sin, not the sinner. To
mm,
hate the sin, not the sinner. So you have to see that. You have to see what is a sin, what is, you know, a virtue. If you just think everything's the same, or sin and virtue is all the same, that's not going to be good for progress for anyone like that. You have to be able to discriminate what's a sin, what's a virtue, you know, what's pious, what's impious, like that. So even Jesus is mentioning that. So you can hate the sin, but not the sinner, because the sinner deep down is the pure spirit soul, part of God, you know. So just because of associating with, you know, Rajagun, Tamagun, the lower modes, has become a sinner, you know, because it's associating with the mode of ignorance and passion has become a sinner. But the soul is beyond that, you know, completely beyond that, just due to some temporary, you know, association with those Maya, under the influence of Maya, is acting in that way, like that. But we have to see that the soul is completely separate from all of those things, like that.
yeah, we should look at compassionate point of view, because everyone is at a different stage, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
are all growing, and
yeah.
everyone, so we probably have to respect that maybe that he's not at that level to
Mm,
understand it. In that terms, at that level, you have that kind of respect. Yeah, no, he's at this stage. That's fine at this stage. He might learn later on. So we are all at different levels, right?
mm,
So that probably we should respect that. Nobody is like, so everyone is trying to get better or whatever. I mean, in
mm.
God's system, they are trying
Yeah,
to. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we should, as you said, positive. Should take it positively, and then
yeah.
try to prove. Yeah,
And and
get.
I, and I could see that as actually doing good to the person by not giving
Yeah.
respect to someone that's not behaving properly,
Mm,
because then they might realize that, you know, what I'm doing is not right and I shouldn't do like that. But if you praise them, you know, while they're, you know, doing bad things, it's only going to increase. So you're going to
I,
make it
I
worse
think. Yeah, I
like
think
that.
if you're doing the and with praise, which is not a fact, then that's not right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not good. So
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of driving them into the wrong path, basically, if you are praising something which is incorrect.
Mm,
But in terms of, basically, I mean, that's what I think is that respect. In what is respect, basically, you don't compare anything, that this guy is, he's not doing right thing, but he's at a different stage. It's like apple and oranges. So you don't.
Yeah.
And then what is the point of, samdarshana and all those things they talk about in Bhagavad Gita, when you have to look at a dog eater and somebody the same, you have to look at the same level because they are at the end. But if we look at physical level, at the body level, or what his mind status is, mental status is, then it can go wrong. But we are not at that level. We still look at the body level, I guess.
No, but I mean, the thing is, you see, the advanced devotee can see both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can see the sameness on that spiritual level and the differences on the material level according to the particular modes of nature. There's so many differences there by that. So it's, while we're in the material world, we have to see both. Have to see both. I mean, why does it recommend in the scriptures to associate with devotees and avoid the association of non-devotees? What does that mean? That's discrimination. So that discrimination is actually good discrimination. Because if you think, oh, everyone's the same, I'll just associate with the non-devotees, and I won't associate with the devotees, I'll associate with the non-devotees, then you made the wrong choice and it's going to really bad for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, some discrimination while we're in the material world, and we're surrounded by Maya, is very important. You have to discriminate what's the mode of goodness, what's the mode of passion, what's the mode of ignorance. If you can't distinguish between, someone in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, then you're not going to be able to progress. Not going to be able to progress. Because if you associate with someone in the mode of goodness, then it's going to help us go up. If you associate with a person in the mode of passion or ignorance, then we're going to go down. But if you think where everyone's the same, whether I hang out in the pub or the brothel or the temple is all the same. But is it the same? It's not the same. No, I mean, it's all ultimately, it's all spiritual energy. But, it's covered by Maya. And we're covered by Maya. So, yeah, if you can't distinguish between the pub and the cinema and the temple, and it's all the same, or the drunkard and the sadhu, then it's definitely going to create problems in our spiritual advancement.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I mean, if a devotee, you're saying that devotee shouldn't associate with non-devotee, but then how the people who are not God conscious? I mean,
and then people ask, well, but when I go to work, I have to associate with non-devotees.
Yeah.
Even some of my family might not be devotees, or even my friends, my neighbors, so many things. We go to the petrol station, the supermarket, and non-devotees like that. So, but it means you're not, you are associating in one sense, but you're not taking on their non-devotional qualities. You're trying to give them devotional qualities, Krishna consciousness. And that's what Prabhupada did, right? Prabhupada left Vrindavan, which is all devotees, and he went to America, which is all non-devotees, but he was not taking on any of their American values.
Yeah.
He was giving them the Krishna conscious values. And they, thousands of Americans he was associating with didn't turn him into a non-devotee American, but he turned thousands of them all into Vaishnavas. So that's what it means by association. So you're not taking on their values. You associate with a drunkard, a smoker, or whatever, a meat eater, but you don't take on those values of smoking, meat eating, and whatever. You try to inject by your good behavior and your words or whatever, there's spiritual values like that. So that's what it means. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah. That's
exciting. Good. Nice. Wherever Krishna takes us, that's where we'll go.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's offer respect.
Yeah.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Bhakta Vrinda.
Continuing our reading of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, chapter 19, entitled The Lord Instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Text 230.
Yep.
230. So yeah, just a quick recap. So we're talking about Vatsalya Rasa. So it was mentioned that the happiness, the spiritual happiness between Krishna and his devotee, in the situation where Krishna is being controlled by the devotee, is just completely an ocean of nectar, as compared to an ocean of nectar, in which what do you do with an ocean? You jump in. So Krishna and the devotee have jumped into an ocean of nectar in that rasa where Krishna is being controlled by the devotee. That rasa creates an ocean of nectar that both Krishna and the devotee are enjoying that happiness like an ocean of bliss, and they're jumping in there. And so that's indicating that Krishna really, that gives a lot of pleasure to Krishna when a devotee is qualified to control him. That gives him a lot of pleasure. So he's enjoying that. And also the devotee is enjoying, not so much just, it's not the controlling Krishna is giving the enjoyment, but just that being so intimately related with Krishna as like a parent is giving them so much enjoyment. And then it's mentioned in regards to that this has been determined, that Krishna and the devotee and that Vatsalya Rasa are enjoying so much. This has been determined by the great authorities, the great spiritual authorities. What words used there by the great authorities? Yeah, Aishvarya, Gyani, Gani. So by the, Gyani means, they have a lot of knowledge. So this great scholars that have a lot of knowledge have understood that they're both of them are enjoying so much. And so why is there so much enjoyment between Krishna and his devotee? And that's related to the last part, which is the Aishvarya. And I mentioned that last week, because Krishna has unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, unlimited strength, unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited renunciation. So it's just so ecstatic. Imagine you're the parent of Krishna. Your child is the most beautiful child ever, and the most intelligent child ever, the most wealthy, it's everything beautiful, so it's just all those qualities and opulences. It's just, drowning you in an ocean of bliss. Krishna's just so beautiful, and you're just overwhelmed with drowning in that beauty of Krishna and all these, and how strong he is. And can imagine, Krishna, was lifting the Govardhan, lifting the mountain. How would you feel? Your child is like so strong that he's like lifting a mountain, you know. And Nanda Maharaj was thinking maybe Krishna might get tired, so he also held up a stick to hold up the mountain. And he's thinking, oh, I'm helping. He's thinking, and many of the cowherd elder men also held up sticks under the mountain, thinking that they're also helping to hold up the mountain. I mean, what help you actually going to do, with a stick holding up a mountain? Krishna was holding all the weight, but they were feeling that I'm helping out too. So they're just so happy. They're just so happy, like that. So particularly that enjoyment is there because of the nature of Krishna, that it's just so full of all these opulences. There's just so much nectar being in Krishna's association like that. And the parent of Krishna gets to be very closely, associating with Krishna, who is full of all those six opulences, very intimately associated like that. And Krishna's enjoying that his parent is telling him what to do. Because normally he doesn't get that. Normally he tells everyone else what to do. So this is some variety that he's enjoying, some different kind of thing. And like I said, you enjoy when you come home from the office, you enjoy that. It's a different kind of relationship. There's no formality. It's very intimate, very personal, like that. Both your children are enjoying that relationship with you, and you're enjoying that relationship with your children, like that.
Yeah, I think that's when children are young, especially. I think when there's a very sweet relationship. It's just like you just have fun. I mean, just very happy. I think especially when they're young, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It just I can relate basically what you was being. Yeah.
So there's so much enjoyment out of you're thinking that you're maintaining them, that you're protecting them, so all the things that come with being a parent. So there's a lot of enjoyment there, and because if Krishna is the object of your being the parent, then the enjoyment is so much more, because our children don't have unlimited beauty, don't have unlimited strength, unlimited wealth, unlimited renunciation. So it's just that, like that. And it just generates an ocean of nectar.
Yeah, that reminds me of that part where Krishna leaves his place in Dwarka, and then all the power and everything of Arjuna goes out. People come and take his wife. I mean, before that he was so strong and everything with association with Krishna, and then suddenly Krishna goes back and he lost all his power, and thieves and rogues are picking on his wife or something like that. I don't know, something like that. So it's like
he was escorting the 16,108 wives of Krishna. And while escorting them, they got taken out of his hands. So he was really gave him a lot to think about. That it wasn't my strength after all.
That's true.
Krishna had given it to me. Now he's taken it away. Okay.
Later.
Okay, so let's read this 230. So this is a Sanskrit verse from the Padma Purana. And in the Kartik Mas, Damodar Mas, which comes in every year, October, November, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we sing this song every day while offering the diya. We offer the diya, the lamp, to Krishna, and there's this Damodar Astaka. So Astaka means 8 verses, glorifying this Damodar-lila. Damodar, Krishna's name, where Mother Yashoda tied him up. So Dhamma means to control, Udara means the waist. So when he was controlled around the waist, so that's Damodar. When he was, this is this pastime. So this bhajan is all about this pastime. So this is one of the verses from this, it's mentioned the purport from this verse is from Damodarastaka in the Padma Purana. Beautiful verse. Eti drik swalila bir ananda kut. No, I'm used to singing it a different way. Eti drik swalila bir ananda kunde. You can say. Now I'll do one line at a time. Iti drik swalila bir ananda kunde.
Iti drik swalila bir ananda kunde.
Swago samnir majantam akyapayantam.
Sghoshamam nimajjantam akyapyantam. Oh, no, it's difficult.
Yeah, difficult one.
Tongue twister.
Tadiye sitagye subhakte jitadvam.
Tadiyeshitagyesu bhaktarjitattvam.
Tadiyashit janeshu bhaktirjitavam jitatvam.
Puna prema tastam shata vritti vande.
Puna prema tastam shata vritti vande.
Primatastamam satta vritti vande. Again, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O my Lord, I offer my obeisances hundreds and thousands of times with all affection, because by your personal pastime, you plunged the gopis into the ocean of nectar. Appreciating your opulence, devotee generally declare that you are always subjugated by their feelings.
So this is, confirming what it's saying in the previous verse, that these devotees are plunging into an ocean of nectar, appreciating your opulence. Yeah. So it's because of the opulence of Krishna that this is creating this ocean of nectar that the devotees are relishing. This unlimited beauty and so forth that Krishna is displaying is,
It's also mentioning gopis, so does that mean it's the start of Shringara Ras or something? Because by your personal pastime, you
so this is particularly, this is mentioning the gopis, this one, but this is also applicable to the parents, to Krishna's parents. So it's also applicable to the parents, yeah. But the ocean of nectar the gopis experience is even more than the parents. So they have even greater ocean. They have an even greater ocean of nectar. The gopis are jumping in even more than what the parents are jumping in. Yeah. Yeah. And that's even more intimate. And and their level of surrender is also more. So because their level of surrender is more, so Krishna is reciprocating with them in terms of ecstasy and bliss, and that even more. Yeah. The gopis took great risk to serve Krishna, whereas the parents don't take that risk to so much extent. So, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, as you surrender to me, I reward you accordingly. And it's 4th chapter, text 11. So I think. So yeah, the no comparison to the gopis and how much they have sacrificed to serve Krishna, please Krishna. So Krishna reciprocates with that by just giving them drowning them in oceans of bliss like that. But yeah, applicable to the parents too. Yeah. But yeah, this ocean of nectar and bliss is it seems it's particularly there because of Krishna's nature of being full of opulences. That's the thing, And we obviously want to, we all want to, every one of us in the material world, we're looking for that ocean of bliss, ocean of nectar, but we're not finding it because those opulences are absent. There's no one here that has all the beauty. all the wealth, all the knowledge, all the fame, all renunciation, all the strength, everything. So we're not getting that satisfaction that we're looking for.
Or maybe we are looking at the wrong place. We are looking at material happiness, and that's why you're not getting that. Because, but that's the truth, I think. In the sense, every activity you do, at the end of it, what are you looking for? I mean, anything you do from day to night, years and years, it's the bliss, it's the happiness. That's what
of course. Yeah.
And then we are looking at the wrong place. We are looking at the material stuff. That's why we're not satisfied. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So that ocean of bliss is there, but we just look in the wrong place. And the example, like I've mentioned many times, is looking for water in the desert. Water's there, but not in the desert. You got to go outside the desert. So yeah. Okay, let's read the next one. Back to Bengali. Madhura rase Krishna nishta seva atishaya Sakyara sankocha lalana mamatadika haya.
Madhura se Krishna nishta seva atishaya Sakyara asankocha lalana mamatadika haya. On the platform of conjugal love, attachment for Krishna, rendering service unto him, the relaxed feeling of fraternity and the feelings of maintenance all increase in intimacy.
Okay, so now we've moved on from Vatsalya Ras to Madhurya, or also known as Sringar Ras. So now it's saying, you know, these are qualities of the different rasas, right? There's different qualities. You know, we started off with the Shanta Rasa. So there's attachment to God and detachment from material enjoyment. So here, it's mentioned here, attachment for Krishna. So that quality is there right through. Whether Shanta Ras, Dasya Ras, Sakya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Madhurya Ras, there's attachment, right? Of course, in Shanta Ras, it's not specifically attachment for Krishna because they're not fully knowing about Krishna, but they might have attachment to Brahman or Paramatma. But in one sense, it's not different because it's all different features of God. So that attachment for Krishna, that's there. And rendering service, that started off with Dasya Ras, so that's still there right through. And then the relaxed feeling, when you're in Sakya Ras, there's a relaxed feeling of fraternity. Fraternity means like equal, we're equal. And then there's the feelings of maintenance. So that's the Vatsalya Ras. But it's saying here, all of them increase in intimacy. So all those previous qualities are there, but they just increase. Everything's increased. More attachment for Krishna, more of a desire to serve Krishna, more of a feeling of friendship with Krishna, and more of a feeling of maintaining Krishna. Wow. So that's intense. So that's an intense relationship. Do you want to say anything comes to mind?
Yeah, no, it just makes sense that the level of intensity is going up. It's kind of a hierarchy in terms of the rasas are. From, as you said, there is a hierarchy, and then top is Sringar rasa. I guess this increases all in intimacy. So that's the topmost, I think. In terms of intimacy and intensity of the intimacy. It's just going like this, it's a increasing graph in terms of.
Okay, let's read the next one. Kanta bhave nijanga diya karena sevana ateva madhura rasira haya panchaguna.
On the platform of conjugal love, the devotee offers his body in the service of the Lord. Thus, on this platform, the transcendental qualities of all five rasas are present. Antabhavi. So it's kind of offering. What does that mean? Devotee offers his body means everything.
Yeah, well, well, like in our perverted relationships in the material world, which is a reflection of this. There's, hugging and kissing and, of course, in traditional Vedic culture, which is not there in Western culture, the wife would massage the feet of the husband when he comes home and stuff like that. Massage his feet and do all the, things like that. Offer a flower garland when he came inside and getting some ideas. We don't expect that because it's Kali Yuga. It's Kali Yuga. Don't expect that, Narendra. Don't get excited. But previously, the wife would offer all these, bodily services. Of course, hugging and kissing and things are still there, but massaging and like I said, and putting chandan. They would put like chandan on the forehead to keep the cool head. The wife would put chandan on the head of the husband. Sandalwood, chandan, sandalwood. Sandalwood, you know what sandalwood does? It's very cooling.
Cooling, yeah.
So it's good to keep a cool head. It's very good for the health of the head. Actually, well, I couldn't believe it. I went to because a few health issues. So I went to an Ayurvedic doctor. He read my pulse and everything like that. He said, do you know what 90% of your problem is, Abai? I said, no. And I said, tell me what 90% of my problems. He said, it's because you got too much, he said your shower is too hot. You got too much hot water on your head. You should not have hot water on your head. On the body is okay, but not on the head. You don't want anything hot on the head. Is not good for the head. Because what's on the head is, and according to Ayurveda and that, and Western know, the pituitary gland. So some important glands that control the hormones. The pineal gland, the pituitary gland, very important. They control all the regulate all the hormones in the body. And they get damaged by heat. They get damaged by heat. So that's why, like in Vedic culture, they always try to keep the cool head, right? First of all, I mean, you don't keep too much hair on it, and then keeps it cooler. And then also they put the chandan, the sandalwood like that. And like if they're walking in the sun, they have an umbrella over their head or whatever like that, so you don't get too much hot sun on your head, or wear a hat or something like that. So like that. So I thought, oh, wow, 90% is that I've got too much. And it's quite an easy thing to fix. Don't put, hot stuff on the head like that. So keep a cool head. And there's a saying, right? Keep a cool head. It's good to keep a cool head. And
yes, somebody was telling me that you have to shock your body by 3 ways. One is fasting. The other one is a little bit of exercise where 5-10 minutes where heart rate goes up. Maybe like. And the third thing she told was that you have a shower with a cold water. So you can have a warm water shower, but at the end, what you do is after finishing cleaning it up, you have a minute of cold one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to what
that we've done that for many years. Finished with cold. Cool. Yeah. Okay. As brahmacharis in that we learnt that. For if it depends on the body type. If one has a vata body type, more airy, like mine, thin, skinny, and like that, then fully cold is not recommended because vata is already cold, already have cold body, and you put more cold, that can cause problems. Like one time when I did that as a brahmachari, my whole back cramped. I had a cramp in normally you get cramp in the leg, right? But I had a cramp in my back and went under the cold water, and I just fell down in the shower, just whole body cramp. So not recommended. But having a warm shower and then finishing with cold is good. And then if someone's pitta, more fiery, then they could have fully cold as no problem, like that. So it depends on the body type, like that. And
but this, according to this doctor, he said
but the
lukewarm.
doctor said, I said, okay, no hot water on the head. I'll have a cold shower from now on, fully cold. He said, no, don't do that either. So like that, because I'm Vata, he said, no,
He said it's for everybody.
he said, not hot, not cold, warm.
Warm.
It's just warm. And he said, how do you know what's warm? What's warm? He said, no steam. Normally when the water's hot, you have steam coming. So he said below there's no steam. So the steam, then it's too hot. So without steam, water without steam. He said that's the temperature. You should have a shower, just warm, without steam, but not cold. He said.
I was reading Bhagavatam and it's something, I think Daksha or somebody. So in some purport, it was saying that, we do japa and everything, but in terms of body austerity, you put your body basically through difficult times in the terms of like, cold water and difficult environment.
Yeah.
And that's part of, being, I don't know, I mean, but there's kind of
Tapasya.
Tapasya kind of thing. So you don't keep yourself so comfortable, and then you do there's advantage, but if you do, so you basically what you're doing is you're putting your body through some kind of
Torture.
Torture,
voluntary torture.
that was the process used by, if you look at all the Rishi Munis basically previously.
Yeah, I mean, but those kind of things
scenario.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That particular process which you're talking about, that was especially practiced in like Satya Yuga and previous ages like that. But also we see some people still doing it in Kali Yuga. And it's mentioned, Prabhupada mentions how in the Himalayas and that the yogis, they in the winter, this plunge up to the neck in the cold water, and in the summer they would light fires around their body and sit in the middle of all the fires in the summer. But the whole purpose of that is, why would they do that, torture the body, is to help them to realize that they're not the body. Help them to realize that they're not the body. We are achieving the same purpose without being under the cold water and being around the fire, just through hearing about that we're not the body, and also practicing not being the body. How do you practice not being the body and to be a soul? That's devotional service. So whenever you do devotional service, you're acting as a soul. Because a body has no interest to chant Hare Krishna, no interest to hear Caitanya Charitamrita or Srimad Bhagavatam, no interest to worship the deity of Krishna or whatever like that. These are all spiritual activities. And you see materialistic people who are on that bodily consciousness, bodily platform, they will not be chanting Hare Krishna, they will not be reading Bhagavatam, they will not be worshipping a deity, and so forth like that. So devotional service means you're operating on that spiritual platform. You're identifying, I'm a soul, I'm a servant of Krishna. I'm a servant of Krishna, I'm a spiritual being that's a servant of Krishna. So you've already fulfilled the purpose of what those yogis are trying to do by being under the water, cold water, and being in the hot fire and everything like that. They're trying to come to that realization that they're a soul and they're not the body. So there's different ways of achieving that. I would rather achieve that purpose through hearing the Caitanya Charitamrita and chanting Hare Krishna than being in the Ganges.
You can add, I mean, if you are able to do it, I mean, I don't think there is harm in it, right? I mean, if you have, I mean, in control way, I mean, for example, as you said, I mean, having cold shower or something, if you can, I mean, because that's what we are doing, what we have created here is everything is for the body comfort. If you look at that, people's mind is everything making. And this body, I think one of the purpose of this body, I mean, I'm just speculating, is to feel the pain. so that ask questions, right question. So the more you feel pain, then I mean that's just my
But I mean, yeah, I
mind.
mean, in Kali Yuga, there's already going to be enough pain. You don't have to look for more.
Yeah,
But I mean, there is that kind of bodily tapasya in our process too, like getting up early in the morning. That's tapasya. I mean, most people can't do it. Most people
that's
can't
good.
do it.
Hey, come here, say
That's cute.
Hey, good to see you again. Good to see you. I
No,
can remember you.
one time
Yeah.
he came.
We had a really good talk together. I couldn't believe it. We had such a mature conversation.
He's after me. I have blocked the game for him. So he wants me to unblock. Say hi to Madhya.
Hi, Krishna.
Hare
Hello.
Krishna.
Hi.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Say Hare Krishna.
That's okay.
Say
It's
Hare
okay. It's
Krishna.
okay. Anyway, our time's up, so I don't want to take you away from I don't want to take you away from your Vatsali Rasa. I don't want to take you away from your Vatsali Rasa.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he's just playing games since afternoon.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, we have some tapasya, like getting up early in the morning to do our chanting and stuff like that. Most people don't want to get out of bed when it's cold in the morning and everything like that. Whereas, serious devotees, 365 days a year, they're getting up early in the morning and stuff like that. And even then going to bed early, that you could also see that as tapasya, because people like staying up late watching TV or going to a disco or a cinema or whatever, and we don't do that. So that's also tapasya. You're giving up that enjoyment late in the night. You're going to bed early so you can get up early in the morning, and so you can chant Hare Krishna better, and also, just only eating prasadam. You're not eating any unoffered food. You're not going to the restaurant, the cafe. That's tapasya. And not taking cigarette, drinking. You mentioned like recently you giving up the tea and the coffee. So that's tapasya. People are addicted to these things, attached to these things. That's not easy. And if they think, oh, it's easy, then we'll ask them to do it. They'll say, I can't do it. It's said that one of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, that's Prabhupada's guru, he sent one of his disciples to England to preach. That's even before Prabhupada went there to USA. And he met one Lord. I can't remember Lord of something. And he said to the Lord said to the devotee, "Can you make me a Brahmana?" And the devotee said, "Sure, easy." He said, all you have to do is no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And what did the Lord say? He said, that's impossible. He said, that's impossible. So that's tapasya. I mean, it's very difficult for a lot of people. Those four principles we follow, for most people, 99% of the people, that's impossible. It's like very difficult. So we're already doing, and even giving an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to chain 16 rounds, that's quite a bit of a sacrifice, for people to sacrifice 2 hours of their day. That's already a lot of tapasya, if you look at it in that sense. So that's already in our process. So on top of that, being under cold water or in the surrounded by fire is, not really necessary.
I think it's not applicable for this day and age anyway, those kind of things, tapasya. I mean, even like doing Nirjala Ekadashi is so difficult in this day and age.
I mean, there are even more extra things like, on Ekadasi, which every 2 weeks, some devotees, they don't eat or drink anything on that day. I mean, we ourselves, as far as we go, is we just don't take grains. We don't have any grains and beans. But some devotees go a step further and they don't eat anything. And some go a step further, they don't even drink water like that on those days. So, I mean, there is extra tapasya you can add. And, on Janmashtami, like fasting, that's, fasting on Janmashtami. So there are things like that you can add. More than that, yeah, it's not really recommended too much because See, what can happen, too much austerity can make the heart hard. I'm talking about the heart. So can make not the physical heart, but like the spiritual heart. Like, we want to have it's said a devotee has a very soft heart, soft-hearted. What too much austerity can do, which is really what you're talking about, is increasing the detachment, the vairagya, right? So the austerity is increasing the vairagya, detachment. So, but too much detachment is not favorable to bhakti, right? Because bhakti, the nature of bhakti is actually attachment, but attachment to Krishna, attachment to the spiritual. But if someone becomes just too habituated, conditioned to detachment, they're going to find it hard to get attached to Krishna, because their whole life is detachment. They don't want to be attached to anything.
That's a body detachment, it's your body. So that's, I see it as kind of a starting point for, you're not this body kind of a thing. It's
Yeah.
it's just to realize that kind of thing. That's what I think. I don't know. I mean, I haven't done anything extreme. Just cold showers and all those things, but sometimes, you just do japa, in cold weather, open windows and, just wearing, or not even wearing top or something. It's simple stuff. I mean, not extreme. Not going outside and or sometimes just running in a t-shirt or, shorts in the cold weather. That's kind of just simple stuff, not big stuff.
Yeah. But then if you get sick and you can't do your service, then there you've defeated your purpose. So you have to be careful. Like, if you did that, heavy difficulty for the body, and then the body got sick, and then you can't chant or you can't read, whether you're stuck in bed, so then that would not be good. That would be, unfavorable. That would not be anukula. That would be pratikul, like that. So
you look at your body whether you can do it or not. But my experience has been positive in the sense that I feel I feel less sick. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of positive for me. I don't know, but it's
I agree. I mean, actually, the body is designed for some tapasya. The body's, it's not good for the health. Too much comfort.
That's right.
Like, I tell you what, my back is the best when I sleep on the floor. When I sleep on a comfortable bed, I get a sore back. When the bed is very soft, I have a sore back. When the surface is very hard, I have a good back. So actually the body's designed for some, not too much comfort. Too much comfort is not good for even from a health point of view.
That's one of the biggest problem of nowadays, is that we are too much in comfort, and then we have device. See, we are going reverse way. We have opened all the gyms and exercise and all those paraphernalia. We are saying we have to do this. Why we need to do this? Because what we have done is we have we haven't put our body to the rigor which you're supposed to put it, and now you're going backwards to it because you found that we got problem. So we have opened gyms. You do this, you do that, you do this diet and that diet, all those things. This kind of people basically. But anyway, I think I agree with you that it shouldn't be extreme, that you kill yourself or make you sick. But I think little bit is good. I think it's good. My experience based on a little bit what I did was it's good. You don't. It's kind of what I think is that part where Bhagavad Gita says that you're not this body, so it just gives you some kind of that you need to detach from.
That's good. That's good. So that's nice. It's a natural. If it's a natural evolution, that you're feeling like it. Like now, I recently had the realization that actually I don't need to eat so much quantity of prasadam at one time, because normally I pile it up on my plate at lunchtime. But now I'm realizing, actually, do I need to eat so much? Actually, I don't. And actually, it's not good for my health. I have a hard time because as the body gets older, your digestion gets weaker. So although I could eat that big pile of plate when I was 20, now being 50 plus, it's not digesting very well and it's causing me problems. So no, I'm trying to cut back on the quantity of the prasadam I'm eating.
And I can
So it
relate to.
should naturally just evolve like that. If you artificially try to do these things, it can backfire. If you don't have the realization and you try to take on too much austerity, it can cause,
Yeah,
problems like that. So you don't want to force these kind of things or whatever.
correct.
Like I said, we already have quite a few austerities, but if there's sort of naturally you're feeling like doing some more austerity, then that can be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just experimenting. That's and what you talked about food is, I think, that's mindless eating. I think I've been, when you don't think about food, you're doing something else, and you don't know how much you have eaten. Even if you're full, so that's kind of a mindless eating, basically. That and especially at night, before you sleep, if you have food in stomach, you don't feel good in the morning. If you
Yeah.
are if you have empty stomach, you sleep. I mean, the food has to go into an intestine. Your stomach has to be empty. So I have experienced that. That so true what you said, that I've been eating too much. Yeah, that's I have also experienced. So I have trying to reduce at night little less and do maybe 4 round of japa and walk. For 15,
Good
20
after you eat.
minutes.
Yep. Good. Yep.
Yeah, the kind of a
Good.
thing. So after eating, I do 4 rounds, so that it's an exercise as well as the food goes down.
Help to digest.
Yeah.
That's good. That's nice. You're doing really well. That's really good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying,
Yeah.
but all
Yeah.
I think
And
Oh,
the good thing is,
Yeah.
when you're doing these things, even if you're doing it from a health perspective, but you're also looking at it from, you're doing it as a service for Krishna, because ultimately, if you don't have health, you can't do any devotional service, isn't it?
but the point is that if you want to be healthy, to do, I mean, I agree with that, but you need to, I think, you have to look from perspective that you are not totally in rest. I mean, it's totally so bodily attached that you are resting.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
giving too much rest to the body. I mean, you need to have some kind of a, and this body, I think, is more probably, it's kind of an indicator, you know to feel the pain, so that you ask question, that why,
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
suffering is
yeah.
important. So one
Yes.
suffering is that you live in a world and don't follow it and you suffer. The other one is you can do it yourself a little bit. I'm not saying going to
Yeah,
extreme,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like you put yourself in that scenario, that okay, but I don't know, I was thinking, I mean, I'm speculating too much. His body is made for, to realize, and that's where suffering comes in. Suffering is a blessing. So it's like, and what basically put me in that direction was looking at, as I was saying, all the people who did tapasya and all those things, they had not very comfortable, surroundings. They were always in a very minimalistic thing. And today,
Yeah.
if you look at that, people who are doing it, they might be doing it in a real, so difficult for body. But as Abhay Prabhu said, and we have lived here. I mean, and we are already doing all those kind of things, waking up early and then, chanting 2 hours. No, if you give somebody 2 hours, they are always on the phone. Yeah, I can tell
Yeah.
myself if I'm not chanting. So those kind of things, that is too much there. But uh, spending some time for Krishna, for ourselves, basically, not Krishna, but
Yeah.
connection with him. Yeah, I totally agree. It has to be
Just
connected
tell
with.
them if you want to do more tapasya, chant more.
Abhay Prabhu saying, if you want to do more tapasya, chant more.
That's another thing I have felt. So sometime what is happening, completed my 16 rounds, and
Mm.
I don't have anything to do, or I'm started looking, then I might say myself I should chant or read, Bhagavatam, or
Yeah, yeah,
those kind of things. So that is coming, but it's not there yet. But I think I'm thinking that, oh, I have time, then I need to do 1 round, I can do, those kind of thing. So
yeah.
that thing is
Oh,
coming, but
that's
it's not
nice.
there. Yeah. So it's I'm experimenting too many things. Yes, but it's good. I mean, I'm thinking about Krishna. That's because in terms of Bhagavatam, it's coming from Bhagavatam, right? Rishi Munis doing all, and Dhruv Maharaj doing so difficult tapasya, 6 months eating grass and all of. So,
Yeah.
so I was thinking that, and that inspired me that if you're doing, yes, you're doing bhakti, but you can do a little bit of tapasya as well with side by side combined.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I don't
that's nice because obviously, that's you're getting some realizations from your
Yes, yes,
chanting, which is which is inspiring you to do all these things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm thinking from that perspective, and as you said, I have seen the result. That's why I'm more interested. Kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
do more what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the good thing is because your body's accustomed to getting us accustomed to new kind of tapasya you're putting on it, you
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah.
So then you're willing to do a bit more.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You see, in the morning I would go for a run. Previously, I mean, if you now a little bit, I can wake up and go, and I don't have to cover myself up and just go run just in a t-shirt and something. That's simple stuff, not big
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so starting simple because I think that's what it is. It's like we find if it's cold here, we want to go. Everyone wants to go where it's warm,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that's fine, but I don't want to do that. I want to feel it, whatever the. But anyway, that's my
Yeah. So
mental.
I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
in your home, like how does your wife take to you becoming so much of a yogi?
It's she's fine. I mean, I'm not that much of a yogi. I do my when I'm doing in front of them the 16 rounds. I have my room in the bedroom. I just do that. But
Mm.
they go to church and they do. But I have discussions with my wife about her. She's reading in the
Bible.
Bible, and
Mm.
I have read a little bit of Bible, and I can see the similarities and all those things. So we do discuss. So this
Oh, that's
morning we had,
nice.
yeah, so it's like we do argue on things like, she said this morning, she said, demons are the spirits who never get body. I said, no, demons are not. And so these kind of things we
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Oh, nice.
I was telling her that demons is nothing but a spirit doing wrong thing, going against
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
But she's
Mm.
got a different idea. So we were discussing. We have arguments on that. So many. And yesterday I had argument with Golshan as well. We were talking about verse 26 of Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, okay, because yeah,
Yeah,
that was covered in that class. Yeah.
yeah. So we were talking. What is important. He was saying that it's important to cook for God, but I thought that it doesn't matter what you eat. You have to remember Krishna before you, because it's from Him. Whatever you are eating, it has,
Mm.
you are kritak. You are obliged to say thank you, or
Mm.
kind of a thing.
Mm.
That is more important. Then, okay, it's very good, because when you're cooking for Him, Krishna is in your mind. I'm cooking for
Yeah,
Krishna. So it's like a
yeah,
meditation, right? That's what we
yeah,
did. Bring Krishna
yeah.
in everything. Bring Krishna everything. Whether it's sometime at work as well. If I have a gap of time, I might go and read one verse.
Mm. Oh, nice.
It's just
Oh,
like, if I have a gap of time, or if I'm lunchtime, if I don't have time, if I go to work, and then lunchtime, I will read for 15, 20 minutes.
yeah.
After.
Mm.
It's kind of a thing I'm bringing. Yeah, trying to.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. But I think this is all from association for you guys. Otherwise, but
No,
it is
Abhay Prabhu is a good leader that
yeah,
way.
yeah. I think no, no. It's just everyone is. I mean, I have learned from you as well, and Fatima, that's
Actu-
everyone association.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Actually, in terms of the cooking aspect also, it's like you're right. I mean, you have to think of Krishna. Like even if you're drinking water, you think of Krishna
Yes,
because ultimately everything's coming from Krishna.
that's right.
But then there is, then you take it to another level, of course, where if you're in a situation where you're at home and you have the ability and you cook, and only then you don't want to
Yeah,
buy anything. I mean, of course, still you're not growing everything, so you will buy some fruits or
yeah,
veggies or whatever, but you try and not buy things which are cooked by somebody else and then you offer that kind of a thing. So, I mean, it's like even an Ekadashi, right? I mean, what level of austerity you want to do for Ekadashi, right? Some people, I mean, like in those days, like I remember my mom saying, "Oh, your Ekadashis are like big feasts." She's like, during Ekadashi means you don't drink water even. That's Ekadashi. That was their understanding of actually if you're fasting in Ekadashi, that means it's always Nirjala.
Yeah,
You
that's right.
know,
I think
but
that's one of the things. And my wife does sometimes. She does also fasting. She don't drink a drop of water and she laughs at me. Say you're eating fruits. What kind of fasting is that? And you're drinking water. She's like she does better than me. I mean, in terms of
yeah.
she for
Does
her
she do that entire Lent fasting? Those,
one
it's like
day.
a,
I think she does
oh,
every. I don't know every month or something, but she won't drink or
okay. Oh,
so
no.
she won't
Yeah.
touch anything, not even drink or drink water.
Mm.
Water. And I drink water and I eat fruit. Like, as you said, the austerity in Ekadasi also
Yeah,
counts. Yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But you have to look at your body as well. I mean, it's not your
Yeah, yeah.
control.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're working hard, then you can't do all that kind
Actually,
of.
right now I'm really struggling because I don't know. I've become like a bear.
Ah,
I just want to sleep all the time. I mean, not all the time, but at night time, I'm noticing that I need like almost like 9 hours of sleep.
mm,
Usually, I used to be like, I need 8 hours of sleep, but then I would just somehow get up at like after 7 hours or something like that. Usually, it's like that. But I always noticed that I've always wanted 8 hours of sleep. And
mm.
then but now since it's becoming more dark, it's becoming cold and everything.
Cold.
I've noticed, yeah, I'm really like a bear now. I get up with great difficulty in the morning, and then
Yeah.
but during the day and all I don't sleep, um except like very rarely. Some days I'm just like I can't operate at all, then I have
Mm.
to have a nap. So that time then I'll listen to one, actually it's called self hypnosis.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh,
and what that does is it actually helps just zone out completely. And even if it's just 10 minutes or whatever, I wake up after that so refreshed. I don't know how, what happens, what it is, but it is really helpful. Yeah,
working.
so yeah, so my sister put me on to that one some years back. So that's what I do during the day, if at all it is necessary. It doesn't happen every day, but some days I find that my energy levels really go very low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I feel that too. Sometimes, like you just and I think you wake up early as well. Sometimes too. Then it's and especially cold now. I
Yeah.
it's difficult to get up from the bed. I can feel.
Yeah. Like the other day I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, but today I
Oh,
woke up at 6. So it's like I made up for waking up early at 4:30, and that's what with my health right now, it's like a bit up and down. So I'm just
mm.
not able to. And every time I'm reading, Prabhupada saying don't eat too much and don't sleep too much. And I'm thinking, oh God, he's really talking to me now,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you have to. I think you are. You know your body, so it's like
Yeah.
as you said, you can do puja only if you're feeling better. If you're
Yeah.
sick, how
Yeah.
can you?
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that
think
is
that
true.
point is yours. I mean, you know your body better than anybody else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
And
like it's
ultimately, Krishna knows. I mean, even if we are cheating to the world outside, to anybody, ultimately, Krishna knows what
yeah,
what we are facing, what we are
yeah,
going through, everything, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what other think. It's Krishna knows everything what you're doing. So it's
Yeah.
we know we are trying our best. So I think
Yeah.
that should good enough. I think yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, you have to look after your body because that's the car you have to go to a destiny,
Yes.
right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's too late for you guys. I'll leave you guys now.
No
Good
worries,
night.
Pramod. Lovely to have had a chat today.
Yeah, nice, very
Mm.
nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Good night.
Good night.